There's been a dynamism with regards to relationships. There's a lot of variables and people giving their opinions on what they believe should be the pattern to relationship and how people, right, or how individuals should decide on who they sort of accept or they want to walk the journey of life with, right? So, I mean, quite recently there's been an emergence of podcast. Now, podcast actually gives people the leeway, they give them the freedom and the liberty to actually speak their opinion or share their opinion on what they believe is right. And these are ideas that are exclusive to these individuals, normally that are shared on various podcasts. And the issue of conversations on podcast has Charlie, it's always sometimes I don't know, some people say that it's because they just want to bring in, I mean, people that are sort of going to speak about things that are going to be controversial, things that are going to go viral. So without really thinking about the mental health or the impact of these things that these individuals or these guests that are taken on that are put on podcast would have on the minds of the people that are watching. It's all about the eyeballs. It's all about literally, it's all about the money and how to actually get your money from content creation. But I'm not criticizing it, but I feel we can do better as content creators. But that's a question, or that's a thing for another day for us to discuss. But right now, I want us to go and check real quick of one podcast that is currently trending online about what a lady thinks about it should be the values of women of this day they should go out for, they should look out for when they decide to be in a relationship or have a child with a man.
You're doing your unborn children a massive disservice by laying with men. Why would you do that to your child? Why would you put your child in a position where one day they're gonna huff and puff and be like, oh, I just wish my mum married rich. I wish my mum married rich. Don't put your child in that position. Don't put your child in that position. You could do this so differently. If you have not had a child yet, there is time. There is time to pattern your wisely, girl. Because we could joke about this, but the reality is, it's really, really sad to see children born to fathers that don't want them. It's really sad to see children born to mothers who spend their whole lives fighting to keep men in the picture. Because if your children happen to be girls and they're seeing their mother being a pick-me, you're raising another generation of pick-me's. You're raising a generation of women who are going to also put men above themselves. So this all starts with who you lay with. And that is a variable that you can control if the circumstances in which you met that man were down to you choosing whether or not you're going to entertain him. You have a lot more control over your life than you think you do. And that's why I don't believe in the idea of you can't help who you fall in love with. Yes, you can help it, very much so. Yes, you can. Be strong. Yes, you can.
So this lady is clearly saying that you are doing your children great disservice if you lay with a broke man or a man that doesn't have his financial stuffs together, or he doesn't have his stuffs together. Now that's her opinion about what she believes is the right way to actually lay with a man. But honestly speaking, in a certain kind of way, in a certain kind of aspect, I believe that in a perfect world, right, in a very perfect, well-organized world, a world that has no blemishes, right, what she's saying is ideal. I mean, what he's saying is the best thing, that should happen. I mean, you should, at least before you give birth, you should be well informed that giving birth sort of comes with some level of responsibility as a man. So I'm not entirely going to criticize what she's saying because there's a level of truth in there. But like I said, if we lived in a perfect world, then what she's saying is perfect. I mean, it's something that you can't literally like overlook as a woman. All right, not even as a woman exclusive to just the feminine gender, but even as a man, because I mean, you need a helper, you need someone that's also well to do to the extent that when things are not going on well with you, she's also going to meet you halfway. But this is life, this is real life, this is 3D, this is physical manifestations of everything that there is. There are certain situations that sort of goes beyond the individuals, right? There are certain variables, right? We are not counting out the fact that there are ways to sort of, make the right decision concerning certain things. But one of the key principles, or one of the key things, there's a thin thread that runs through most of these podcast conversations, especially when it's coming from the feminine side, right? There is this unusual standard, this unrealistic standard that these women that normally are found on podcast are sharing, right? Because I mean, possibly by the play of nature, by the mechanism of nature, not every man is rich. And the people that are even rich now, the people that are actually having money, financially they are well to do, they started from somewhere. Yes, they started, not all of them had the wealth bestowed on them from childbirth. Some people had to work through themselves, develop themselves, go through stages in life, various stages in life to sort of reach the heights that they are in now, right? And these, per the analogy she is making, that you shouldn't lay with a broke man. Okay, so let's say Alfred is a young man who is trying to make it, right? Alfred meets Albertina, let me take it. Albertina, right? Albertina meets Alfred, and Alfred is trying to sort of put his stuff together. But they meet, and like pose, kind of thing. Alfred start feeling Albertina. Albertina start feeling Alfred. And okay, so now what she's saying? If Albertina gets to know that Alfred is not well to do, or he's trying to reach a certain height, but he's not there yet, right? Per the context of what she's speaking, Albertina has to leave the scene. Albertina has to leave Alfred to his fate, right? And then, okay, what happened? Charlie. Sorry, but some of these things, I feel it's not well thought, right? Because people meet people. We've seen celebrities that actually started with nothing. Kendrick Lamar and a girlfriend. When Kendrick Lamar started actually rapping and doing his thing, T.I. was there in the same place. In my country, Sarkodie was also in the same booth with his girlfriend, that they started together. Sarkodie was literally trying to, climb the ladder of success, right? He had nothing, but now he can give the girlfriend everything that she wants, because, she saw the vision. He saw a trying man. He saw a man that is trying to reach a certain height, right? And now she's enjoying the fruit of the labor. She's reaping what she has sown, because she sort of contributed to his journey, and now they are married with kids, right? So some of these things that I believe that these women share are dangerous, are they are setting a very dangerous standard for the young woman. Now, young women, let me expand the whole model for you, right? Now, the young women, now they don't know anything about life is a process, right? They want to be with rich people. They don't care about they don't care about the mindset of the person. They don't care about whether the person will take good care of them emotionally, physically, whether they will be abused. No. So far as you have money, it's like a band-aid that sort of conceals all the aspects of the pointers of attraction. Right. Now, young people, the young ladies are listening to these podcasts and then making their decisions on it, leaving their boyfriends that are trying to make life, and then in turn they leave these young guys very bitter, right? Like young men are bitter because now their love that they had for these young women, because they are listening to they are exposed to some of these words, they are not able to sustain and go through the process with them. Right, and in turn they create bitterness among the young people, among the male gender. Now this young person will go any height to make sure that he proves to the lady that left him for maybe a richer guy, right, that he can also make it, right? Now you see a lot of people, young men actually committing atrocious stuff, that like sometimes all form of atrocities. Because the system is, if you have money, you must get money. If you don't have money, you are not part of it. You are not part of the whole process of this whole life. And now it's like you have to find a way, even if it involves killing someone to be rich, going to see a juju man, money ritual. There are people are actually going to places because they feel like, nah, without money, like they can't make it. Meanwhile, these people are people that are genuinely having talents, that people having mindset that they can actually what? Use that mindset, invest in that mindset. But in everything in nature, it takes time, right? You can't rush a 9 month pregnancy because you want to give birth early. It's a systematic thing of this, a principle that it has to go through that natural, like, natural phenomenon, that natural system, right? And these men, these young men are not even able to wait because of the pressure from society. People they love are leaving them, and now in turn they are creating bitter men that are willing to, when you come to Africa, they are willing to do anything at all to make sure that they are also seen, they are also given some level of love, they are also accepted, right? But in turn, the whole thing is we are losing men, we are losing young women. Now, another aspect that we are not looking at is it's also making the women, right? It's turning the young ladies into something like money for affection, money for sex, money for this. It's like, nah, Charlie, the way this whole thing is going is very dangerous for the system that we are building now. And when you look at these people sharing this kind of opinion, I feel there are certain gray portions of what they say that they don't really explain it into details, right? Because I mean, yes, we are not saying that you should lay with people that are not responsible, right? You're not saying that you should lay with people that they are not able to fend for themselves or give birth with someone that is not able to take care of a child. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying is these whole principles that sometimes some of these women put out there should be thoroughly explained. Should be thoroughly explained. All the blind spots in this whole thing. I mean, okay, fine. You can decide not to lay with this group of men, but I mean, you can look out for pointers of somebody that is actually going to make something out of their life. Okay, then they should actually think through and then serve them with, okay, now what do you look for in a woman? What do you look for in a man? Not everybody is looking for a rich man, mind you. Not every woman. Some people are well to do, they are actually doing good for themselves and they are looking for something more deeply connected. I mean, you can say whatever you can say, but there are people that are genuinely looking for a more deep connection and a more emotional connection when it comes to that point, right? So I feel these kind of conversation is going to get worse. Unfortunately for us, we are going to hear more of this because wherever you go, this is the agenda. Let's push this thing to these people so that they can sort of feed on what we are giving them to also sort of create a system whereby money becomes the ruler. Money becomes everything. Okay, and then I feel like it's successfully gaining grounds and the roots are deepening, right? And then we have to sort of find ways to actually balance the forces, balance the energies, or else, Charlie, the future looks very bleak for the young people as the youth. And I feel it's something that you and I should be a little bit concerned about, especially with the kind of world that we are trying to, if you're not giving birth like myself, we are trying to organize for our unborn children to actually have a feel or to experience. Because I mean, if it continues this way, you see, pills can kill children to come might even wake up and decide to use their parent for blood money. Yes, yes. How much is enough money? You can't really quantify how much is enough money. Enough money for someone because money is like numbers are infinite. Right, today you want a Corolla, tomorrow Corolla has become old and now you want a Benz. Now the Benz will become old and you always have to live up to that standard. But if you have the time to actually build yourself into that person that is sort of going to have that kind of knowledge to hold and control money and then invest wisely, and those kind of experiences, and they are not something that you can actually come up and sleep and then come up with ideas. Sometimes it comes with trying and failing and then becoming more wise with how you invest, how you make decisions about certain things. And these are the values that we are losing because now young people don't want to stress. Young people don't want to go through the process. Young people don't want to fail because failure and any form of a temporary failure is seen as unacceptable. And it's a very dangerous precedent that we are setting for the youth that I believe that we should heavily speak against. Right. So I don't know what you think about this, but this is seriously something that we should look at. And with that one said, I'll end today's edition of Trends on KDM. And my name remains Donald, but not Trump. I'll see you on the other side.